Today, I will be deciding between one game and another. So I saw a video from Jared Dines a little while ago where he was trying to pick between two bands. This one or this one. He put a thing out on Twitter. Loads of people said, choose between this, choose between this. I thought it was really entertaining. It had me shouting at the screen, going like, oh my god, what the hell are you talking about? It was clearly this one's better than this one. And I figured it would be a fun thing to do with video games instead of metal bands. Although maybe I should do a metal bands one at some point as well, as those two things are pretty much what this channel is all about. I asked a bunch of you guys to submit your this game or this game, and I got loads of responses, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're just gonna blow through them and see what happens. Some of them are gonna be easy because I have very little experience of one versus a lot of experience with the other. Some of them are absolutely savage. So we're gonna see how we get on. Let's start with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tetris 99. Okay, I'm gonna go Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is going to win against any game it goes against, I think. I think that's fairly obvious. However, Tetris 99 is an absolute banger of a game. Considering it's free on the Switch, it's so good. I've lost so many hours of my life to both games, to be fair. It's Breath of the Wild. That's easy. Street Fighter 2 versus Mortal Kombat. That's a really, really good shout. Two awesome fighting games from my childhood. I played both of them an absolute ton. I got to go Street Fighter 2. You can't beat that music. I'm sorry. Doom versus Duke Nukem. Now, that is another incredibly good choice. Both of them were insanely good. I mean, on the one hand, you had Doom with the super fast-paced, amazing level design. Duke Nukem, that was probably my first and only visit to a strip club. But it's a close one. I'm going to go with Doom. Stardew Valley versus Terraria. I've played a buttload of Stardew Valley. I've not played much Terraria. I'm going to go Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley versus Animal Crossing. Now, that's an interesting one. I've only really played Animal Crossing kind of recently with a new version that's come out. I can't remember the name of it. A New Horizons that's just come out. My wife has been playing that religiously. I've seen a lot of the game and it's beautiful and I love it. I've put more hours personally into Stardew Valley. Oh, that's a really, really tough one. I'm going to just about lean on the side of Stardew Valley. Just because that's the one that I've poured an insane amount of hours into. And it's seriously, seriously good. Yoshi's Woolly World versus Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Oh, man. So one's a platformer, and that's usually how you get me, right? You get me in front of a platformer, I'm sold. The other is like an XCOM clone, and I'd never played XCOM, so this was the first kind of XCOM style game I ever played, and it is freaking amazing. That's really tough. They're both pretty much 50-50, but I'm going to lean towards Yoshi's Woolly World because it's a platformer, and that's my bread and butter, man. Banjo-Kazooie versus Conker's Bad Fur Day. I have not played either, so I'm kind of approaching these from like a level pegging. On the one hand, you've got Gruntilda. On the other hand, you've got a singing poo. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Okay, this one is a really, really tough one and a really good shout. Metroid versus Mega Man 2. Both absolute bangers on the NES. Both games that I spent an incredibly large amount of my childhood playing. Both games have got incredible soundtracks. Oh my god, this is insanely tough. I'm going to go with Mega Man 2 purely for the replayability. I've played both games in recent years. Metroid is obtusely difficult. Mega Man 2 is still that nice blend of really challenging, but not like throw your controller across the room frustrating. And I know which one of those games that I can beat today. And it ain't Metroid. Okay, where are we? Excuse me. Overwatch versus Apex Legends. I haven't played Overwatch in a few years. I really, really love that game. I got really into it. Obviously, I've been playing Apex Legends a lot more recently. Two very different games. I'm going to go with Apex Legends. I'm a sucker for a Battle Royale. That game is mechanically absolutely rock solid. Overwatch is cool, but I have very, very little urge to go back and play it, if I'm honest. All right, this is a classic Loveridge throwback. Super Pang versus Boulder Dash. Super Pang. Easy. Mario Kart versus Smash Bros. Ooh. Jesus Christ. Mario Kart versus Smash Bros. I'm not going to get into it too much. Smash Bros. Mario Kart versus Diddy Kong Racing. Mario Kart. Easy. Easiest one I've answered so far. I've not played very much Diddy Kong Racing, but Mario Kart in all of its iterations is just one of the best games. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Street Fighter versus Streets of Rage. Never really played Streets of Rage. That's an easy one for me, Street Fighter. Sim City versus City Skylines. City Skylines, hands down. City Skylines is what you wish the newer Sim Cities were. City Skylines is so good. It's so deep. It just It does everything you want it to do. There's no restrictions or limitations. Hands down, that is a million times better than SimCity. Mortal Kombat versus Tekken. That's a really good shout. I played Mortal Kombat so much when I was a kid. I barely played Tekken. That's another easy one for me. Mortal Kombat. Minecraft versus PUBG. Minecraft. PUBG has a very, very solid place in my heart, but it is a mess these days. It's full of bots. It's had its day. It's over. It needs taken out the back and shooting. Also Minecraft. That's easier than I'm making it out to be. Call of Duty versus Rainbow Six. Call of Duty any day. I'm a sucker for Call of Duty. They had their wayward years. I'll give them that. But the latest version is awesome. The old versions are absolutely incredible. Yeah, Call of Duty, no problem. PUBG versus Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2. There are very, very few games that are going to make me decide against Modern Warfare 2. Tony Hawk's 2 or Time Crisis. I'm loving the fitting those two games are very much a snapshot point in time. Tony Hawk's 2. Easy. Tony Hawk's 2, seriously, one of the best games I played when I was younger, and I'm super pumped that they're bringing it back, as long as it's not, like this one. Tomb Raider versus The Sims, 2 extremely different games. Again, another beautiful snapshot in time. I'm going The Sims, man. I lost my early teenage years to The Sims. That game is so good. The music is so good. I mean, when I say that game is good, building your dream house is amazing. The second you started playing the game, I was like, start again, stick the rosebud cheat on and just go for it. GoldenEye versus Mario Kart 64. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, oh, that's a tough one. It's not a tough one. It's easy. Mario Kart 64. Have you played GoldenEye recently? It's a very, very bad game. I'm sorry. This is the fresh, hot take. GoldenEye has aged about as badly as a game can possibly age. Don't get me wrong. I adored that game when I was a kid. I've lost years of my life playing that game with my siblings and my friends. The split screen multiplayer was awesome. The campaign was great when you didn't know any better and when you were like 11. But Jesus Christ, playing that game now is like walking through cement. Oh, you want to aim? Cool. Stand still. Stand perfectly still if you want to aim. Great. I hate it. That's kind of triggered something in me a little bit. I'm sorry. Call of Duty Warzone or Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I can't think of two games that are more far apart. I'm going to go with Ocarina of Time. That's a pretty easy one. Don't get me wrong, Warzone's awesome, but it's Ocarina of Time. Come on. Breath of the Wild or Super Mario 64? Nice. Good shout. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild wins. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Mario 64, but it's Breath of the Wild. Come on. If Breath of the Wild's going up against anything, it's basically going to win. Donkey Kong Country versus Super Metroid. Oh, man, that is a good shout. So, Donkey Kong Country was the game that was really close to me when I was a kid. I really had a strong connection with that game when I was younger. Super Metroid, I did play a bit, and not very much admittedly, and I actually only completed it for the very first time last year, if you can believe it. Bearing everything in mind, in terms of how good the game is and how well it's put together, as much as I utterly adore Donkey Kong Country and I love the music in it, I'm going to give it to Super Metroid. Super Metroid is one of the best 2D platformer type Metroidvanias I've ever played. Okay, now we're getting onto some pretty tough ones. I mean, that last one was pretty tough, but this next one is savage. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Mario World. It's like trying to get me to decide between my favorite children. It's ridiculously, like, I can't imagine my gaming life without either of those games, but it's got to go to Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Every single second of that game for me is just basically perfection. Don't get me wrong, I know Mario World is basically the same thing, but it's like 51% Link to the Past, 49% Mario World. God damn, that's the toughest one I've had to answer so far. Minecraft versus Undertale, that's a really good shout. I know for replayability and for hours put in, Minecraft wins, but for a sheerly unique gaming experience that's kind of forever gonna stick in my head and change how I see a lot of like narrative-driven games, Undertale is absolutely jaw-dropping. It's so good. I'm going to give it to Minecraft. It's a close one, though. But the memories I have playing each game, I have more of them with Minecraft, and I think they're fonder as well. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go Minecraft. All right, now this is an interesting one. Super Mario Odyssey versus Super Mario 64. I don't know if anybody caught my 24-hour gaming stream, but there was a moment in that it's probably the closest I've come to genuinely losing my mind. So it's 3 a.m., 2:30, 3 a.m., I've been up for quite a while, playing games non-stop, and everyone's in bed apart from me and my brother, and we're playing Mario 64. I nearly have a full-blown, like, tantrum at how frustrating some of the moments are in that game. Like, the camera is, like, not on your side. And don't get me wrong, I get that it was the first time that it's like Nintendo 3D platformer with a really good camera. Don't get me wrong, it was breaking all new grounds at the time, but Jesus Christ. Now, Mario 64 is one of the nearest, dearest games to my heart. Mario Odyssey has not been around for very long, and it's an awesome game. It's not, there are things I don't like about it, but Jesus, that's a really tough one. Now I'm saying all this out loud. In terms of design and overall polish and structural integrity, Mario Odyssey would get it. But in terms of how important the game is to me and how much it's affected my gaming life and my life, I would say Super Mario 64 just about wins, despite the absolute rage-inducing camera problems. Super Metroid versus Super Mario World. Oh, that's an extremely tough one, but it's got to go to Super Mario World. I mean, I think Metroid is like number 3 of my SNES games of all time. Mario World is like 1 or 2. It's really tough, but yeah, Super Mario World for sure. Super Metroid versus Metroid Prime. I've never really ever played Metroid Prime or any of the 3D Metroid games, so I'm gonna have to give it to Super Metroid. I'm sorry. I realize that people are gonna be screaming at me for not playing some of these games, but what are you gonna do? Mario Kart 64 versus Crash Team Racing. Again, Mario Kart 64, easy. Wii Sports versus Nintendo Land, a very, very good shout. Both awesome games, but come on, it's Wii Sports. Wii Sports is in my top 5 games of all time. Bowling, golf, tennis. That's all you need to know. Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto. It's got to go to Grand Theft Auto. I've dabbled a bit with Red Dead over the years, but I've played Grand Theft Auto since the very first one, the top-down, and it blew my mind then. And I remember at the time when somebody described that game to me before I played it, and they were like, yeah, you can like jump in cars and like run people over and do whatever you want. In my head, GTA 3, the 3D versions, is what was playing out. And then when I saw the top-down thing, I was like, okay. And then I played it, and I was like, oh my god, right, okay, cool. This sense of freedom, it totally clicks with me. I love it. And I just feel like every GTA that came after that just expanded on that to the point where GTA 5 is just like, man, I love that game. It's so good. Half-Life versus Halo. I never played Half-Life, but one of my friends was really, really into it when I was a lot younger. So I saw a lot of the game, and I love the atmosphere, and I love the whole vibe it's going for there. But I got to say, Halo. I've played more Halo games than I have Half-Life, and yeah, no, Halo Reach was just beautiful. Portal 1 versus Portal 2. Another really, really good question, but it's hands down Portal 2. Portal 1, I think someone left a comment or something saying Portal 1 feels like a tech demo for Portal 2. And I could not agree more. Don't get me wrong, Portal 1 is absolutely amazing. Portal 2, the characters, the narrative, Stephen Merchant, J.K. Simmons, the whole like delivery and performance and the humor, along with like top grade puzzles, just beautiful. And the ending, I mean, come on. That whole moon thing, I won't spoil it, but Jesus Christ, that was so good. All right, we got Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. I am going to give it to Killer Instinct because in terms of amount of hours played, Street Fighter would win. Mortal Kombat might even come in second, but there was like a summer or two when me and my brother were younger where we played the ever-living crap out of Killer Instinct Gold on the N64. And the more we played it, the more deep the game got, and the combos are absolutely insane. And like the feeling of tying together like a 50 combo move or whatever was just like nothing else in terms of a fighting game at that time. So I'm going to give it to Killer Instinct Gold. That is one of the best fighting games I've ever played. And I've yet to play another fighting game that really matches that exact style. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've not played either. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give it to the remake purely because JRPGs, I've never really messed with JRPGs. I feel like if I tried to go back now and play a JRPG from like 20 odd years ago, I don't think I'm going to have the amazing time that a lot of you probably had when you were younger and you played it. The latest game looks incredible. The game design looks like it has been designed for the modern audience, and right now I am in the modern audience. I'm going to give it to the remake. I really want to play it. Finally, a very, very tough one here. This is the final boss of all of these. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time versus Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Both games meant so much to me when I was younger. Both games are absolutely incredible. This is insanely tough. It's like 50.01% Ocarina of Time. Absolutely love the crap out of both games. The sense of atmosphere and the story and everything in Majora's Mask that was a full-on pivotal moment for me when I was growing up. But I think in terms of how much Ocarina of Time blew my mind when I was a kid when I first played it, and like how the music of that game has stuck with me and how the music stands out, Ocarina of Time wins. All right. That is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for giving me all your suggestions. I would love to do this again with stuff like metal bands or I don't know, guitarists or something like that. I think that would be a really cool idea. So if there is anything else like that that you guys want to see, let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And if you'd like to join me on Twitch, I play video game piano covers twice a week on Twitch, Mondays and Thursdays. Head over to twitch.tv/Simon Loveridge. Click the little follow button and thank me later. Take it easy. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Right, well, GG. No! Look where you're going! Why did you say no? Look where you... I would have been fine. I hesitated and pulled back because you said no. Because you could have easily just gone like that. I was fine. If you just shut up, I would have been fine. Sorry.